Ladies and gentlemen, we all have moments in life where we feel like we're stuck. We continue in the same patterns, engage in the same habits, and face the same struggles day after day. But the truth is, if you want to truly build a new life, you must first be willing to destroy the one you have built. I am not talking about a physical destruction, but an internal one, a deliberate breakdown of who you are today so you can become the person you are meant to be. The first step to any meaningful transformation in life is self-reflection. It's easy to overlook the importance of looking within, but self-reflection is the foundation upon which personal growth is built. Often we go through life on autopilot, repeating the same routines, engaging in the same behaviors, and falling into the same mental and emotional patterns. We become so accustomed to who we are that we forget we have the power to change. The truth is, if you want to build a new version of yourself, you must first be willing to examine the one you are living as today. Self-reflection is the process of pausing and taking an honest look at yourself, your actions, your thoughts, your habits, your attitudes, and the environment you have created around you. It is a moment of deep introspection where you must be willing to acknowledge both your strengths and your weaknesses. Many people fear this level of introspection because it forces them to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves. But without this confrontation, growth is impossible. Think about your daily routine. How much of it is dictated by habits you've developed over time? How many of those habits are truly serving your long-term goals and aspirations? Are the thoughts that dominate your mind aligned with the person you want to become? Often, the answers reveal that much of our daily life is a product of unconscious patterns that keep us stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. These patterns include limiting beliefs about ourselves, negative self-talk, and behaviors that sabotage our success. Take a moment to ask yourself, what are the choices I'm making today? And are they helping me reach the future I desire for most of us? The answer is that we are not fully living in alignment with our goals. We tell ourselves that we want success, happiness, and fulfillment, but our actions don't reflect those desires. This is where the power of self-reflection comes in. It gives you the opportunity to pause and course correct. When you reflect on your life, you begin to see where your decisions are out of sync with your intentions. For example, you might notice that despite wanting to be more productive, you spend hours procrastinating. Or despite wanting deeper relationships, you might find yourself emotionally distant or avoiding meaningful connection. These discrepancies between what you want and what you are doing are the roadblocks to your growth. Self-reflection allows you to identify these contradictions and make intentional changes. Self-reflection is not just about identifying your weaknesses. It's also about celebrating your strengths. Often we are so focused on what's wrong with us that we overlook what's right. Part of reflection is acknowledging the areas of your life where you are excelling and using those successes as a foundation to build upon. This balanced approach allows you to strengthen the positive aspects of your life while simultaneously addressing the negative ones. But true self-reflection goes deeper than just surface level analysis. It requires you to question the beliefs and values that are driving your behavior. Many of us have internalized beliefs from childhood, society, or past experiences that no longer serve us. These beliefs might tell you that you are not good enough, that success is out of your reach, or that failure defines you. But if you never take the time to reflect on these beliefs, they will continue to control your life from behind the scenes. It's only when you bring these limiting beliefs to the surface that you can begin to dismantle them. In this way, self-reflection is a process of unlearning as much as it is a process of learning. You must be willing to unlearn the habits, thoughts, and beliefs that are holding you back. This is not an easy task, but it is necessary if you are committed to building a better version of yourself. Think of self-reflection as a mirror that shows you both the light and the shadow sides of your character. It's only by acknowledging both that you can move forward in a balanced way. But what often stops people from engaging in deep self-reflection is fear. We fear what we might find when we take an honest look at ourselves. We fear the responsibility that comes with knowing we need to change. And we fear the discomfort of stepping out of our comfort zone. But the reality is that growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you want to evolve, you must be willing to step into discomfort, and self-reflection is the doorway to that discomfort. The good news is that self-reflection is empowering. When you take the time to truly examine yourself, you take back control of your life. You are no longer operating on autopilot, driven by unconscious habits and beliefs. Instead, you are making intentional choices about who you want to be and how you want to live. Self-reflection gives you the clarity to see where you are, where you want to go, and what steps you need to take to get there. Self-reflection is the foundation of transformation. It's the process that allows you to see yourself clearly and make the changes necessary to build a new version of yourself. Without self-reflection, you will continue to repeat the same patterns and get the same results. But when you embrace the power of reflection, you open the door to growth, change, and ultimately the life you truly desire. To truly transform yourself, you must be willing to break old patterns. These patterns, whether they are mental, emotional, or behavioral, have likely shaped much of your life to this point. But here's the problem: the patterns you developed in the past are not necessarily the ones that will take you to the future you desire. In fact, they often keep you locked into a version of yourself that no longer serves who you are becoming. The key to growth is recognizing which of these patterns need to be destroyed so you can make room for new, more productive habits and ways of thinking. Breaking old patterns begins with awareness. Most of the behaviors we engage in daily are habitual. They happen without conscious thought. From the moment you wake up, your routine is likely filled with actions you perform almost automatically: checking your phone, drinking coffee, or reacting to stress in familiar ways. These habits are ingrained in you because of repetition. The more you repeat a behavior, the more deeply it becomes embedded in your neural pathways, making it second nature. But just because something is automatic doesn't mean it's beneficial. This is where the concept of destruction comes in. To create a new version of yourself, you must first be willing to destroy the old version. And that means letting go of the habits and patterns that keep you tied to your current reality. Think of it like tearing down a house before building a new one. You can't construct something new on a foundation that is weak, damaged, or no longer suitable for the future structure you envision. Similarly, you can't build the life you want if it's sitting on top of outdated habits that no longer align with your goals. One of the biggest challenges people face in breaking old patterns is the comfort they provide. Even negative habits can feel comforting because they are familiar. They provide a sense of control and predictability, even if they lead to undesirable outcomes. For example, someone who procrastinates may do so because it gives them temporary relief from anxiety, even though it ultimately leads to stress and failure. In this way, the habit becomes a self-sabotaging cycle that's hard to break. But to grow, you must get comfortable with discomfort. Breaking old patterns will often feel difficult and uncomfortable at first because you are challenging the familiar. However, this discomfort is temporary and it's a necessary part of the process of change. You can't expect to create a new reality for yourself while continuing to engage in the same actions that brought you to where you are now. If your goal is to evolve into a higher version of yourself, you must be willing to destroy the habits that keep you anchored in your current state. The first step in breaking these patterns is identifying them. This requires an honest assessment of your daily life and the behaviors you repeat. Ask yourself, what actions are keeping me stuck? Where am I repeating the same mistakes or getting the same undesirable results? Once you identify the patterns, it's important to understand the underlying beliefs and emotions driving them. Most negative habits are rooted in deeper issues such as fear, insecurity, or a lack of self-worth. For instance, someone who habitually avoids difficult tasks may be driven by a fear of failure, or someone who overeats might use food as a way to numb emotional pain. Recognizing the root cause of your habits is key because it allows you to address the issue at its core rather than simply treating the symptoms. It's not enough to stop the behavior, you must also confront the beliefs and emotions that are driving it. This is where destruction becomes powerful, not in a literal sense, but in an internal one. You are not just changing what you do, you are dismantling the mental and emotional structures that keep you repeating the same actions. Once you have identified the patterns and their root causes, the next step is to replace them with new, positive behaviors. This is where intention comes into play. You can't simply destroy old habits and leave a void in their place, or you risk falling back into those same patterns. Instead, you must be intentional about creating new habits that align with the person you want to become. This could mean developing a daily routine that supports your goals, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, or adopting a mindset of growth and learning. For example, if you've identified procrastination as a pattern you need to break, it's not enough to simply tell yourself you won't procrastinate anymore. You need to establish new behaviors that replace the old ones. This might mean setting specific, achievable goals each day, breaking larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps, and rewarding yourself for completing them. Over time, these new behaviors will become your new habits, just as ingrained as the old ones, but this time they will be aligned with your success and growth. Breaking old patterns is not a one-time event, it's a continuous process of self-awareness and intentional action. You may slip back into old behaviors from time to time, and that's okay. The key is to recognize when this happens and gently steer yourself back on course. Every time you break an old pattern, you are creating space for a new, better version of yourself to emerge. Breaking old patterns is about reclaiming control over your life. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose how you respond to the world, and that the life you are living is a reflection of the habits and beliefs you hold. If you are willing to destroy the old, you can rebuild the new. The process may be uncomfortable, but the reward is the freedom to create a life that truly aligns with who you are and what you desire. In breaking old patterns, you are breaking free from the limitations of your past and stepping into the possibilities of your future. Destroying limiting beliefs is one of the most crucial steps in the process of personal transformation. These beliefs are often deeply ingrained in your mind, and they silently influence every aspect of your life. They are like invisible chains that keep you bound to a reality that is smaller and less fulfilling than what you are capable of achieving. If you want to truly rebuild yourself and create a life that aligns with your highest potential, you must be willing to confront and destroy these limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are often formed early in life, usually during childhood, as a result of the environment, experiences, and messages received from others. They can come from family, culture, society, or even past failures and traumas. These beliefs typically sound like internal narratives that tell you what you can or cannot do, what you deserve, and what is possible for you. For example, you might believe that you are not good enough, that success is only for other people, or that you will always struggle with money, relationships, or self-worth. These beliefs are dangerous because they operate at a subconscious level. You may not even be fully aware of them, but they shape your decisions, actions, and the way you interact with the world. They form a mental ceiling that limits what you think you can achieve. For instance, if you believe that you're not capable of starting a successful business, you won't even attempt to pursue entrepreneurial opportunities. If you believe that you are unworthy of love, you will sabotage relationships or avoid meaningful connections altogether. One of the reasons these beliefs are so powerful is that they create a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe something about yourself, you unconsciously behave in ways that make that belief a reality. If you believe that you are not good enough, you will avoid taking risks, hold back your full potential, and settle for less than what you truly want. Over time, the results you get in life will reflect these beliefs, reinforcing the idea that they are true. The cycle continues, and you remain stuck in a limited version of yourself. The first step to destroying these limiting beliefs is awareness. You must become conscious of the negative thoughts and beliefs that are holding you back. This requires you to question your assumptions and examine the stories you've been telling yourself for years. Ask yourself, what beliefs do I hold about myself that are limiting my potential? Where did these beliefs come from? Are they really true, or are they simply ideas I've accepted as facts? Once you've identified your limiting beliefs, it's important to challenge them. This is where the real work begins. You have to be willing to question the validity of these beliefs and recognize that they are not absolute truths. They are simply perceptions you have internalized over time, and they can be changed. One of the most effective ways to challenge limiting beliefs is to look for evidence that contradicts them. For example, if you believe that you are not smart enough to achieve success, think about moments in your life when you accomplished something that required intelligence or skill, where you can begin to see the value in your past rather than being weighed down by it. You can acknowledge that while the past may have been difficult, it has contributed to the person you are today, and that person is fully capable of creating a better future. Another important step in letting go of the past is to stop identifying with it. Many people define themselves by their past experiences, especially the negative ones. They say things like, I'm just not good with money because I've always struggled financially. Or I'll never find love because I've been hurt too many times. These statements reinforce a sense of identity based on past limitations, and they prevent you from stepping into a new, more empowered version of yourself. To let go of the past, you must detach your identity from your experiences. You are not your mistakes, your failures, or your pain. You are a dynamic, evolving being with the power to change, grow, and create a new reality. Letting go also requires living in the present moment. Often, people dwell on the past because they are not fully engaged with the present. They replay old events in their minds, wishing they had done things differently or feeling bitter about what happened. This mental habit keeps them stuck in the past, preventing them from fully experiencing the present or creating a better future. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for letting go of the past because it teaches you to focus on the here and now. When you are fully present, you realize that the past no longer has any power over you. You can make new choices and take new actions that are aligned with your goals and values. It's also important to recognize that letting go of the past is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. You may find that even after you've made peace with certain events, old feelings or memories resurface from time to time. This is natural. The key is to approach these moments with compassion and remind yourself that you are no longer bound by the past. Each time you consciously choose to let go, you weaken the hold that the past has on you, and you strengthen your ability to move forward. As you let go of the past, you create space for new possibilities to enter your life. When you are no longer weighed down by guilt, regret, or resentment, you can open yourself up to new experiences, relationships, and opportunities. You can begin to build a future that is based on your true potential rather than the limitations of your past. This process of release is incredibly freeing, and it allows you to step into the next phase of your life with a sense of empowerment and possibility. Letting go of the past is ultimately about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that the past does not have to dictate your future unless you allow it to. By releasing old wounds, mistakes, and regrets, you free yourself to create a new reality that aligns with who you truly are and what you want to achieve. The process may be challenging, but the rewards are immense. When you let go of the past, you open the door to a future filled with growth, possibility, and fulfillment. You are no longer held back by what was. You are free to create what will be. Rebuilding yourself is not a passive process. It requires intentional action, dedication, and a willingness to take consistent steps toward your new vision of who you want to become. This means that the process of transformation is not something that happens by chance or simply over time. It is the result of deliberate and focused effort. If you want to truly rebuild yourself, you must commit to taking action every single day, no matter how small those actions may seem. One of the key principles in this process is consistency. Many people get excited about personal development or transforming their lives but fall short because they lack the discipline to follow through. They may start strong, but as time goes on, their motivation wanes and they give up when results don't appear as quickly as they had hoped. However, true transformation takes time, and it is the small, consistent actions that add up over time to create lasting change. This is why it is essential to develop habits that align with your goals so that taking action becomes a natural part of your daily routine. Building new habits is one of the most powerful ways to take consistent action toward your transformation. Habits are the building blocks of your life because they are the things you do automatically without even thinking about them. If you want to rebuild yourself, you need to cultivate habits that support the version of yourself you are striving to become. For example, if you want to be healthier, you need to develop the habit of exercising regularly and eating nutritious foods. If you want to be more successful in your career, you need to develop habits of discipline, focus, and continuous learning. By integrating these positive habits into your daily life, you are taking consistent action toward your goals without relying solely on motivation or willpower, which can fluctuate. Another important aspect of taking consistent action is setting clear, achievable goals. When you are rebuilding yourself, it is important to have a vision of where you are headed. But that vision can sometimes feel overwhelming or out of reach. This is why breaking down your big goals into smaller, manageable steps is crucial. By setting specific, measurable goals, you can track your progress and stay motivated as you see yourself making tangible strides toward your ultimate vision. Each small achievement brings you closer to your desired outcome. And over time, these small wins compound into significant results. Taking consistent action also requires overcoming procrastination and self-doubt. Often, people hesitate to take action because they are afraid of failure or they doubt their own abilities. This can lead to paralysis by analysis, where they spend so much time thinking about what they want to do that they never actually do it. To rebuild yourself, you must push through this hesitation and take action, even when you are unsure of the outcome. It is important to remember that no one achieves success without encountering challenges or setbacks along the way. The key is to keep moving forward, learning from your mistakes, and adjusting your approach as needed. Accountability can play a significant role in helping you stay on track with taking consistent action. When you are accountable to someone else, whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a coach, you are more likely to follow through on your commitments. This is because accountability creates a sense of responsibility and external motivation, which can be especially helpful during times when your personal motivation is low. Sharing your goals with someone who will hold you accountable can provide the extra push you need to stay consistent, even when it gets difficult. Taking action is also about embracing the process rather than focusing solely on the outcome. Many people become so fixated on achieving their end goal that they overlook the importance of the journey itself. But it is through the daily actions and efforts that you grow, learn, and evolve into the person you are becoming. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a part of your transformation. It's important to celebrate your progress along the way, rather than waiting until you've reached your final destination to feel a sense of accomplishment. By appreciating the process, you stay motivated and engaged, and you are more likely to persist through challenges. One of the most powerful forms of action you can take is to invest in your own personal development. This means dedicating time to learning new skills, expanding your knowledge, and improving yourself in all areas of life. Whether it's reading books, taking courses, attending workshops, or seeking mentorship, personal growth should be a priority in your daily routine. The more you invest in yourself, the more equipped you are to handle the challenges that come with rebuilding yourself. Personal development helps you build the mental, emotional, and spiritual resilience needed to stay committed to your transformation. Another key to taking action is to stay adaptable. As you move forward in your journey of rebuilding yourself, you may encounter obstacles or setbacks that require you to adjust your plans. It's important to stay flexible and open to change rather than becoming rigid in your approach. Sometimes the path you thought would lead to success may not work out as expected, but that doesn't mean you should give up. Instead, use these moments as opportunities to reassess, pivot, and try a new approach. By staying adaptable, you maintain forward momentum and keep moving toward your goals, even in the face of challenges. The process of rebuilding yourself is a lifelong journey, and it requires ongoing action and commitment. There will be days when it feels easy and days when it feels incredibly difficult. But what matters is that you keep showing up for yourself day after day. Consistency is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Every action you take, no matter how small, brings you one step closer to the person you are striving to become. By staying focused on your vision, developing positive habits, and taking intentional, consistent action, you can rebuild yourself into the best version of who you are meant to be. To conclude, the process of destroying and rebuilding yourself is one of the most transformative journeys you can undertake. It requires a deep commitment to let go of old habits, embrace new ways of thinking, and take consistent, intentional action. By confronting your weaknesses and shedding the layers of your past self, you create space for a more empowered, authentic version of yourself to emerge. This journey isn't easy, but it is incredibly rewarding, allowing you to unlock your full potential and live a life of purpose and fulfillment.